Tiffany Henyard, mayor of Dalton and supervisor of Thornton Township, is facing intense scrutiny over her administration's financial practices. Recent credit card records reveal that Henyard and her team have racked up more than $112,000 in taxpayer-funded travel expenses over the past year. These revelations have raised serious concerns about the potential misuse of public funds. Accusations of questionable spending, possible cover-ups, and ties to controversial figures, such as her attorney, have fueled widespread unease among Dalton residents. The allegations extend beyond mere rumor, with many questioning how taxpayer money has been used to fund what appears to be a lavish lifestyle. As new details surface, it's becoming clear that the issue is far more extensive than initially perceived. Henyard is accused of concealing financial data and obstructing oversight efforts, leading many to believe that the town's finances are being manipulated for personal gain. Among the allegations are claims of excessive spending on luxury trips, high-end restaurant meals, and misuse of funds earmarked for community services. Compounding the issue, Henyard's administration has been criticized for a lack of transparency, delaying access to crucial financial documents that could clarify the use of public funds. This opacity has ignited growing public outrage, especially as Dalton continues to face economic challenges. The controversy has been further magnified by Henyard's choice of legal counsel. She retained Bo Bryant, a high-profile attorney with a controversial track record, including representing figures like R. Kelly. Although Bryant has not been officially sanctioned, his reputation has been marred by accusations of witness tampering, raising questions about Henyard's judgment and ethics. For Dalton residents, the stakes are personal. They are demanding answers and accountability from a leadership they feel is increasingly disconnected from the town's needs. As scrutiny grows, the situation has become a significant source of tension, with many questioning Dalton's future under Henyard's leadership. Adding to the controversy, Henyard's administration has been accused of defying open records laws. Despite orders from the Illinois Attorney General's office to release financial documents, they resisted, providing only vague promises of implementing safeguards on credit card spending. However, transparency is a legal obligation, and after the administration failed to comply, WN News pursued legal action. A court order eventually forced Dalton to disclose credit card statements and other records, painting a disturbing picture of extravagant spending. The documents reveal tens of thousands of dollars spent on first-class airfare, luxury hotels, fine dining, and even personal shopping. One particularly egregious example was a 5-day trip to Austin, Texas, where Henyard and two top officials, including her aide Keith Freeman, spent over $20,000 in public funds. This included $1,699 for lodging at the upscale Fairmont Austin Hotel, $389 on a steakhouse dinner, and $53 on workout gear, purchases far from essential business expenses. These revelations have only deepened community outrage, especially as the Dalton Police Department reportedly struggles to maintain adequate patrols due to budget constraints. In response to mounting backlash, the Board of Trustees voted to suspend the use of Village credit cards, acknowledging the urgent need for tighter financial oversight. As the scandal unfolds, public confidence in Henyard's leadership continues to erode. Residents are demanding accountability for what they see as blatant misuse of taxpayer dollars. With each new revelation, the controversy surrounding Mayor Henyard only grows, casting a shadow over Dalton's future. The most shocking expenses include a staggering $22,000 spent at Walmart and Target, $1,425 on Amazon, and nearly $3,500 for a personal photographer for Henyard. Additionally, her administration accumulated close to $6,000 in charges for Uber Eats and local restaurants. For Dalton residents, these expenditures are particularly outrageous given the town's ongoing economic struggles and urgent need for community services. However, financial mismanagement is just one facet of the controversy. Henyard's actions have come under further scrutiny following allegations of misconduct and potential cover-ups. One of the most alarming accusations revolves around a work trip to Las Vegas, now the subject of a civil lawsuit filed in April 2024. The lawsuit names Henyard and a village trustee as defendants, alleging serious misconduct, including sexual assault. A former aide claims that after attending dinner with the trustee, she began to feel unwell and disoriented, eventually waking up in the trustee's hotel room with no recollection of what had transpired. Another employee, Officer Byron Miles, reportedly received a concerning phone call from the trustee that night, during which the trustee allegedly gloated about the incident. Alarmed, Miles requested a video call to check on the aide's well-being. When the police assistant informed Henyard about the alleged assault, her response was to place the aide on unpaid leave without offering support or initiating an investigation. Meanwhile, the trustee initially boasted about his actions, but later denied any wrongdoing, claiming he was merely helping a colleague who had overindulged. This incident has deepened public mistrust of Henyard's leadership, with many accusing her of protecting her allies at the expense of her staff. Adding to the controversy is Henyard's decision to hire Bo Bryant, a lawyer with a contentious past, including his defense of R. Kelly's former business manager, Daryl McDavid, during a highly publicized trial. Bryant was accused of witness tampering in the case, a charge that severely damaged his credibility, even though he was never formally sanctioned. Henyard's alignment with an attorney of such a tarnished reputation has raised serious concerns, particularly at a time when public confidence in her administration is waning. But the legal drama doesn't stop there. Henyard has reportedly brought on another high-profile attorney, Bradley, known for his work defending clients in major criminal cases. His attendance at Dalton Village Board meetings has fueled speculation that Henyard may be planning to use village funds for her legal defense. While Bradley denies being paid by the village, his involvement in observing board proceedings has raised eyebrows. Given his background in high-stakes criminal defense, his presence only intensifies suspicions about the mayor's legal strategy. Bradley's own legal career has been marred by controversy, including high-profile cases that have involved serious ethical and legal questions. The situation surrounding Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard has reached a new level of complexity and controversy as residents and officials alike continue to uncover troubling details about her administration's financial management and legal maneuvering. Among the many concerns is Henyard's decision to hire a high-profile criminal defense attorney, Bradley, whose own career is steeped in controversy. Bradley's history includes serious allegations that cast doubt on his ethical standards and raise questions about Henyard's judgment in choosing him as her legal counsel. Bradley first drew national attention in 2015 when he was accused of coaching witnesses to lie under oath and obstructing justice, charges that led to a federal investigation and a 21-count indictment. Although he ultimately avoided formal punishment, the scandal left a significant stain on his reputation, with many questioning the tactics he employed to secure favorable outcomes for his clients. The allegations against Bradley suggested that he had attempted to manipulate witness testimony, potentially jeopardizing the integrity of the judicial process. Even though he escaped conviction, the accusations raised widespread concerns about his methods and motivations, leaving him with a reputation as an attorney who was willing to bend or even break the rules to win. For many residents of Dalton, the presence of an attorney like Bradley in village meetings and board discussions has sparked fears that Henyard may be preparing for an aggressive and potentially protracted legal battle. The mayor's decision to hire a lawyer with such a checkered past has only fueled suspicions that she may attempt to use village resources to fund her defense, further eroding public trust in her administration. Bradley has asserted that he is not being paid by the village for his attendance at these meetings, but his presence has raised eyebrows nonetheless. His reputation, combined with his close involvement in Dalton's governance, has led many to believe that Henyard's legal troubles may be even more extensive than previously thought. Beyond his courtroom controversies, Bradley's public reputation is further tarnished by his history with clients. A quick search of his online reviews reveals a pattern of negative feedback, with numerous former clients describing him as untrustworthy and inattentive. Common complaints include allegations that he charged exorbitant fees, failed to communicate with clients, missed court dates, and left cases unresolved. Some reviewers have gone as far as to call him the worst lawyer ever, accusing him of taking their money without delivering any meaningful representation. One client even questioned how he remained licensed to practice law, given the volume of grievances against him. These public reviews paint a picture of an attorney who appears more focused on collecting fees than on providing dedicated legal service, casting further doubt on Henyard's choice to bring him into such a sensitive and high-profile case. Henyard's selection of Bradley as her legal representative has led to growing concerns within Dalton, especially in light of her administration's ongoing financial scandal and her reported ties to individuals with similarly controversial backgrounds. It raises a critical question. Why would Henyard, already facing intense scrutiny, align herself with a figure as contentious as Bradley, particularly when her own administration is under investigation for corruption and ethical violations? The broader context of Henyard's legal and financial entanglements only adds to the unease. In the past year alone, her administration has been accused of gross financial mismanagement, with public records revealing lavish spending on luxury goods, travel, and personal expenses. These include shocking expenditures such as $22,000 at Walmart and Target, $1,425 on Amazon, and nearly $3,500 on a personal photographer. Additionally, the administration reportedly spent almost $6,000 on meals from Uber Eats and other local restaurants, expenditures that have drawn intense criticism, particularly given Dalton's economic struggles and the community's dire need for public services. But the controversy doesn't stop at fiscal irresponsibility. Henyard's administration is also embroiled in allegations of misconduct and possible cover-ups. One of the most disturbing accusations involves a work trip to Las Vegas, which has become the subject of a civil lawsuit filed in April 2024. The lawsuit, which names both Henyard and a village trustee as defendants, includes serious allegations of sexual assault. According to a former aide, she felt disoriented and dizzy after attending a dinner with the trustee and later woke up in the trustee's hotel room with no memory of what had occurred. Another employee, Officer Byron Miles, reported receiving a troubling phone call from the trustee that night, during which the trustee allegedly made comments that suggested something inappropriate had happened. Alarmed by the situation, Miles requested a video call to check on the aide's welfare, further highlighting the severity of the incident. When news of the incident reached Henyard, her response was swift but alarming. Rather than investigating the matter or supporting the aide, she placed the employee on unpaid leave, effectively penalizing her without any inquiry into the incident. Meanwhile, the trustee initially boasted about the encounter, but later denied any wrongdoing, claiming he was merely helping a colleague who had had too much to drink. This response from Henyard and her administration has only deepened suspicions that the mayor may be more interested in protecting her allies than in ensuring justice and accountability within her team. For the people of Dalton, these events have sparked a profound sense of outrage and distrust. Residents, already burdened by the town's financial difficulties, are demanding answers and accountability from a leadership they perceive as increasingly disconnected from their needs. The allegations of extravagant spending, coupled with accusations of misconduct and a lack of transparency, have severely damaged public faith in Henyard's administration. Adding to the gravity of the situation is a reported FBI investigation into Henyard's alleged corruption, suggesting that the stakes may be higher than anyone initially realized. As this complex web of financial mismanagement, ethical violations, and legal battles continues to unravel, Dalton seems to be on the brink of a reckoning. The community, long skeptical of Henyard's leadership, is now calling for a full investigation into her actions and demanding greater transparency in the handling of taxpayer funds. The outcome of this investigation could have profound implications, not only for Henyard's future, but for the future of Dalton itself. What was once a hopeful administration now stands at the center of a storm of allegations and controversies, with each new revelation casting further doubt on the mayor's ability to lead. The unfolding saga surrounding Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard has reached a boiling point as scandal after scandal intensifies the public's scrutiny of her leadership. In recent months, Henyard's administration has been beset by allegations of financial mismanagement, ethical misconduct, and an apparent disregard for the community's well-being. Many Dalton residents feel betrayed by a leader they once hoped would bring positive change. Now they see her embroiled in what they view as self-serving pursuits and questionable alliances that seem far removed from the needs of her constituents. The latest addition to this growing web of controversy is her decision to retain high-profile criminal defense attorney Bradley, a lawyer whose career has been marked by legal troubles of his own. This choice has only added fuel to the fire and raised fresh doubts about Henyard's judgment, especially at a time when she is under investigation for alleged corruption. Bradley, once a prominent figure in criminal defense, carries significant baggage. His legal career has been clouded by accusations that he engaged in witness tampering and obstructed justice, a controversy that led to a 21-count federal indictment in 2015. Although he avoided conviction, the scandal left a lasting mark on his reputation and raised questions about his ethical boundaries. The allegations indicated that Bradley was willing to go to extreme lengths, including allegedly encouraging witnesses to lie under oath, in order to secure favorable outcomes for his clients. Although he was ultimately acquitted, the incident revealed a side of Bradley that left many in the legal community uneasy about his tactics and motivations. For Dalton residents, the fact that Henyard has chosen such a lawyer, especially amid her own legal battles, suggests desperation or perhaps an attempt to shield herself through association with someone known for aggressive legal defense. Bradley's presence at village board meetings has only intensified public concerns. Officially, he claims he is merely there to observe proceedings and ensure that no legal missteps occur. But many residents are skeptical, wondering why a criminal defense lawyer, particularly one with his history, would take such an interest in the village's operations if he weren't being compensated. Bradley insists he isn't being paid by the village, yet his frequent attendance at these meetings has led some to believe that he may be acting in Henyard's interests, possibly even using taxpayer resources to bolster her legal defense. This notion, coupled with Henyard's recent spending controversies, has only strengthened the perception that her administration is veiled in secrecy and self-preservation. The mayor's spending has indeed become a focal point of public outrage. Over the past year, financial records reveal that Henyard and her administration charged more than $112,000 to the village's credit card for travel expenses, including first-class flights, stays at five-star hotels, and extravagant dining. These expenses, justified as business-related, have been met with disbelief by residents struggling under Dalton's economic difficulties. Among the most shocking expenditures are $22,000 at Walmart and Target, $1,425 on Amazon, and nearly $3,500 for a personal photographer. Many residents view these figures as indicative of a lifestyle completely disconnected from the community's needs. Dalton has long faced financial challenges, and the town's residents have endured budget cuts and a decline in public services. To see taxpayer funds directed toward what they perceive as Henyard's personal indulgences has sparked resentment and anger, with many questioning why she believes such spending is justifiable. Adding to the financial scandals are allegations of misconduct and possible cover-ups within Henyard's administration. A particularly disturbing incident occurred during a work trip to Las Vegas, now the subject of a civil lawsuit filed in April 2024. The lawsuit alleges that a village trustee, acting in an official capacity, attacked a female aide who was also present on the trip. The aide claims she felt disoriented and unwell after a dinner with the trustee and later woke up in his hotel room with no memory of what had transpired. Officer Byron Miles, another employee on the trip, reported receiving a troubling phone call from the trustee that night, in which the trustee allegedly made comments that suggested he had taken advantage of the aide's vulnerable state. Alarmed, Officer Miles requested a video call to check on her, hoping to ensure her safety. When news of the alleged assault reached Henyard, her response was far from supportive. Rather than investigating the incident or offering assistance to the aide, Henyard reportedly placed her on unpaid leave, effectively punishing her without further inquiry. This reaction has led many to suspect that Henyard is more interested in shielding her allies than in pursuing justice. The trustee initially boasted about the incident, but later retracted his comments, claiming he was simply helping a colleague who had had too much to drink. For Dalton residents, Henyard's lack of support for the aide and her apparent disregard for transparency have only deepened concerns about her leadership style and priorities. As these issues continue to mount, Dalton residents are demanding accountability. They want to know why taxpayer funds are being used for extravagant expenses, why Henyard is aligning herself with controversial figures like Bradley, and why she has failed to take meaningful action in the wake of such serious allegations. Henyard's decision to work with Bradley, a lawyer known for defending high-profile, often contentious clients, has only intensified the public's wariness. His past, riddled with ethical controversies, including claims of witness tampering and accusations of poor representation, doesn't inspire confidence. A simple online search of Bradley's reviews reveals a flood of negative feedback, with former clients accusing him of everything from overcharging to neglecting their cases. These accusations, coupled with his history in court, have led many Dalton residents to see his involvement as a troubling choice that reflects poorly on Henyard's judgment. The community's frustrations are compounded by Henyard's continued influence within the administration. Although some of her supporters argue that she remains in control, the situation seems to be slipping out of her hands. Henyard's recent departure from public life, combined with her apparent reliance on her ally Tiffany, who continues to assert authority, has left many residents feeling abandoned and ignored. Trustees who had initially expressed concern about Henyard's leadership appear to be struggling to take meaningful action, leaving Dalton residents increasingly disillusioned and calling for Henyard's resignation. For many, the ongoing scandals have made it clear that Henyard's time in office is running out. The recent revelations about her alleged financial mismanagement and failure to address misconduct within her administration are likely only the beginning of what could be a prolonged period of scrutiny. With the FBI reportedly investigating her for corruption, the stakes have never been higher. This inquiry may well uncover further evidence of misdeeds, intensifying the pressure on Henyard to step down. Many Dalton residents believe it is only a matter of time before she is forced to leave office, and they are growing impatient. The calls for her resignation have grown louder with each new revelation, and it is becoming increasingly clear that Dalton's residents will not tolerate any more evasions or excuses. Henyard's choice to bring Bradley into the fold may be a last-ditch attempt to stave off what appears to be an inevitable downfall. His reputation for taking on tough cases and securing favorable outcomes may have initially appealed to Henyard as she sought a way to counter the mounting pressure. However, his controversial background has only worsened her public image. For Dalton residents, this drama, which continues to unfold like a political soap opera, has brought to light the stark reality of an administration that many believe has failed to prioritize the community's needs. As this investigation into Henyard's actions unfolds, residents are left grappling with a deep sense of betrayal and frustration. They are demanding not only accountability, but also the return of misused funds and a complete overhaul of the current administration. In the end, Dalton's residents have had enough. They want answers, they want their money back, and above all, they want Henyard out of office. The ongoing scandals, coupled with the FBI's corruption probe, have painted a grim picture of her administration, and many feel that her time as mayor is coming to an end. As the truth continues to come to light, Henyard's future in office looks increasingly bleak, and the stage appears set for a major reckoning. Mayor Tiffany Henyard's administration is facing an escalating series of controversies that have transformed her once promising tenure into a story clouded by allegations of financial mismanagement, ethical misconduct, and troubling associations. The residents of Dalton, who initially placed their trust in her leadership, now feel a profound sense of betrayal as details emerge about her handling of taxpayer funds and alleged attempts to shield herself and her allies from accountability. For the people of Dalton, who are already struggling with economic challenges, the news of luxury expenses, unexplained transactions, and claims of misconduct is a harsh reminder of how disconnected their leadership has become from the needs of the community. These allegations, combined with questions over Henyard's controversial legal representation, have spurred a wave of frustration and determination among residents. Calls for transparency, justice, and even her resignation are growing louder by the day as public trust in her administration diminishes. The FBI investigation into her financial practices adds to the growing pressure, casting a long shadow over Henyard's political future. Dalton's citizens, who had hoped for leadership that would prioritize their well-being, now face the possibility that this chapter may end only when justice is served. Their patience is wearing thin, and for many, the only solution is a new direction that aligns with the town's true needs. As the scandal deepens, it is clear that the community is ready for change. Only time will reveal how this unfolds, but Dalton's residents are increasingly united in their demands for accountability and leadership they can trust.